Alright, people are funny. I'll give them that much. Interesting. I guess people do like hearing what Joe has to say. Edit. How many words was that? That's too many words. Oh my god, 63? Right, it was a short thought. Yo, N0. I'm not sure what you mean by what you said. Let me move chat over here so I can see it. Right, it was a short thought. Were you responding to something I said? It could be, but my brain sometimes I'm speaking and I don't actually know what I'm saying. I'm just speaking for the sake of speaking. Or I'm talking to myself. I'm not paying attention. So if you are responding to something I said, please please let me know what it was. Because I forgot what I was saying. Um Make sure Twitch stream is working. Do I want to look at No, I don't. Thank you very much. Do I want to look at No, stop, mute. Alright. Thought this was a shorts notification? Oh, thought it was a short notification. Oh, okay, M0. No, no. It's a live. But the short no maybe you did get a short notification? Because I did post a short with Shahu talking about how Faker is his role model. Um I'll get started in a moment here. I'm just making sure all my streams are working. So far I have 2 out of 3 working. Uh, where is text? Why can't I? Okay, there we go. What's the name? LNG. Yes, again. Alright, let's center. Go live. Boom. World's hot picks. League of Legends. Go live. Pop out chat. Minimize this bad boy. Forbidden question? Oh yeah, yeah. So I asked Shahu about his previous name. So he, if you don't know, back in 2015, he used to have a different IGN, which was Angel Beats. And when asked why, like, what the name was about, he said there's an anime called Angel Beats, and he like was so emotional watching it that he cried, and so he decided to name himself Angel Beats. Later on, he changed his name, right? And so I asked him if any other anime had made him cry, and then he just like did not. He was like, "Can we just skip this question? Can we move on?" Which I don't know. People in the comments were saying maybe he's like he got emotional or like it's Angel Beats. I know. Ibro Kudim, have you watched it? I've never watched um Angel Beats myself. So I didn't think it was that emotional, but he just didn't want to talk about it at all. Um yeah, it was interesting to say the least. I was kind of thrown back by the fact that he just didn't want to talk at all about it. I've watched Angel Beats. Oh, yo, pro sub. Pancakes. Is it worth crying over? I watched the first half. It's all right. I don't know. Maybe I have to watch it to see. Maybe he was embarrassed. Oh, okay, okay. But maybe it was embarrassment. All right. I think that might that might make a little bit more sense. Could have been too intimate of a question, Terdak. Welcome. Maybe. And hey, Shidoa. Maybe it was too embarrassed, or I don't think it's too intimate of a question because I didn't necessarily ask him. So my question wasn't about Angel Beats. It was whether a different anime had made him cry, and I feel like he could have just said no and moved on. But he was just like, "Can we skip the question?" It was more of maybe there was. Here's the thing: maybe there were a bunch of animes that made him cry, and he was just like, "Oh no, I don't want to say it." So maybe I don't know. It was a little awkward. I've never had someone skip a question. I've had people dodge questions before, but I've never had someone straight up just like ask me, "Okay, let's move on to the next question." Sorry to come in and be negative, but these titles are going to make me unfollow your channel. Scales? How come? Oh, is it a spoiler? Ah, my bad, my bad. I'll change the title. I had it as a different title initially, and then it didn't fit, so I changed it. I keep forgetting about this. I am doing quite poorly about keeping it um spoiler free. Should have made it to LNG does it again. Yeah, okay. I'll do LNG does it again. LNG does it again. There we go. That's better. By getting too good. I'm sorry, bro. No, no, no. It's completely fair. If I completely keep on making the same mistake over and over, it makes sense for you to unfollow. Spoilers are so hard to avoid. Yeah. I mean, okay, there are a few things I do a pretty good job at. I've unfollowed a bunch of people to avoid spoilers. I actually used to, so I watch basketball, and a lot of times I'm not able to like. My team that I cheer for is the Golden State Warriors, right? And they play in LA. So whenever they're playing, sometimes they'll play 7 p.m. their time, which the game will end at like midnight or 1 a.m. my time. I can't stay up to watch the game, and I don't want spoilers. And as soon as I open up Twitter, I follow the Golden State Warriors, and the first thing I see is just Warriors. This is how many points, and this is like the comeback, and like historic. So I just stopped following them. It sucks, but like it is quite hard. I think I've done a relatively better job at avoiding spoilers ever since I think it was maybe even Scales who told me the first time. I've definitely done a much better job of like actively trying not to have spoilers in my titles. But every now and then, like you said, I kind of forget or I slip up. But it's good to be reminded because I'm a person who hates spoilers. So if I dislike spoilers, I definitely should avoid giving people spoilers. And I don't think it's too hard of a task. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best to do that. But I do want to talk about those games because, dude, game three. First of all, I had LNG winning. I thought it was gonna be really close. I thought people were underestimating Weibo considering they finished second in LPL. But man, the way the games ended was just quite shocking. Game three ending the way it did was very strange. And I asked Weiwei like what went wrong, like what was the call, and he was like, yeah, we were doing the Baron. They were doing the Baron, and we decided to like all go on the Oriana, and like my Kaisa went in, and then she died, and then we lost, and I was like, oh man, I shouldn't have asked that. I'm sorry, but hopefully that interview will be out like next week. I want to do one every day, so I want to do like today the Yahoo one, tomorrow. Okay, I have a complaint. I don't think anyone from Riot is here, but don't share this to Riot. It's just a little complaint. Normally, the way interviews work, a little bit of behind the scenes here. Maybe I should do like a little TikTok behind the scenes series or something. But the way it works is very simple. It's very efficient. It's awesome. You Oh, I can't show you because the link is like, yeah. Anyways, I'll just explain it as best I can. The way it works is they send out a form. You fill out the form requesting up to two members from each team, right? It is due by like 24 hours before the game. So the games start 8 a.m. EST, 5 a.m. PST, right? 5 a.m. the day before, or 8 a.m., like whatever time zone you are, 24 hours before, you have to have your question sent in. Sometimes it happens where they're late with like prepping the forms and stuff. So you don't necessarily have much time. And normally they'll like extend the amount of time that they give you. So like they'll be like, okay, it's not too strict. Like just get it ASAP. We'll let you know when it closes, right? That's fine. Anyways, the request for Thursday's games, right? Let me look up to uh the request for the games came out like 3 hours before 2 hours, right? 2 hours before the game, before the deadline. So obviously they extended the deadline. All cool, right? They didn't necessarily say anything. No one asked because we kind of assumed that's how it would work. Awesome. Normally we have a few like they'll tell me yesterday, maybe latest 8 9 p.m. my time, who I have, so I can prep for the interviews. I can like do some research. I like to go down memory lane and look up certain things about players and try to find their social medias and see if they've tweeted something or look up the previous interviews that they've done. I try to find specific things about them that maybe I had forgotten, I had known and I had forgotten, or something I didn't know, or like a part of personality that I wouldn't have known. Things like that. I like to watch if the team has a documentary series on that player. I like to find a specific like a lot of times teams like TSM Legends. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll have one episode that's narrated by one specific player, and that player kind of like goes through his history and stuff like that. So I'll try to do that. But I found out that I had two interviews yesterday at 2:58 a.m. I woke up at 8, assuming I didn't have any interviews. And then I look and I'm like, oh, I have two interviews. I need to prep, but I have to watch the games. I can't not watch the games. First of all, I want to watch the games. I'm a fan. Second of all, it's kind of hard to ask questions if you don't watch the games, unless you're non Jake and you don't actually care about League of Legends. You just care about asking questions, like about doing your style of interview. So that was a little frustrating. So I wasn't able to prepare for Weiwei. Xiaohu is someone who I know for like years and years and years, so it was really easy. But for Weiwei, like I didn't have any sort of questions prepped because I just didn't have time, and I was quite frustrated. And I don't know if I have anyone for tomorrow. So I might find out. I might wake up tomorrow and find out. I don't even remember who I requested. That's another thing. I can't actually wait. I can. I can. Awesome. I can check who I requested. I guess technically I could prepare for Peanut, Viper, Bin, and Knight, all four of them, and just hope that I get one of them. But like that's a lot of time and effort that normally. Oh wow! I actually. good thing I. Good thing I'm double checking. What on earth? I have a feeling my form that I filled out was like bugged or something because that is not who I requested. For some reason, for my Genji request, I was requesting a Chinese to English to Korean translator for Genji. So I have no idea what that was. Thankfully, I found it. So I'm gonna resubmit it. That was really awkward. It's a good thing that I checked. Um, Anyways, knockout interviews are always brutal. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite bad at them just because I've had very few experiences to do them. It's a lot easier to do. Oh, thank you for the like. 5-star Mickey. It is quite difficult to do interviews when it's knockout. I felt like I did a really bad job with the Weiwei interview. I will like upload it, but there was a point where he was just. I asked him like, okay, looking back at the year, what was the most memorable moment? And he was like, we failed. And I was just like, okay, thank you, bye. It was really bad. Um, I feel like I definitely could have done a lot better of a job at just doing the interview. You don't get these opportunities very often, so when I feel like I kind of messed up the interview or like I don't know, I didn't do a good job prepping or something like that, I just feel so not everyone gets this opportunity, and I feel like I'm wasting or scoundering it. So, but I do want to talk about the games. LNG, dude, Scout looked really good. again when he was playing in the Swiss stage. The first game he was shaky, but then he looked really good. But he didn't look like Scout afterwards. And it just seemed strange putting Gala on Jin 2 games in a row. Like that Kaisa game, Gala made certain mistakes that he normally doesn't. I think maybe honestly that last team fight, everybody going in on an Oriana, like a 7-0 Oriana at that point or something, that had Hourglass. Weiwei said that the idea was that we could charm her, and during the charm, we could completely one shot her with Nocturne, uh, Ari, and Kaisa. But then Kaisa didn't get an isolated Q. She didn't get her W off. Like Kaisa was really fed at that point, but I don't think she got her plasma proc. So by the time everybody like attacked, they didn't actually kill the Oriana. I don't. Yeah, it was quite strange to see LNG make such a big mistake. It's not like they don't make mistakes in LPL. I feel like they're one of the teams that does kind of make weird mistakes like that, but they were just in such a strong position. Honestly, if they let Weibo like leave, they still probably win the game. So it was quite sad and probably very tilting after game 3. Um, but even game 1, I feel like they another thing. And maybe I'm just like basically all my questions for the interview. You don't even need to watch the interview anymore. But with Weiwei, I asked him about the Aurora priority and how why they kept taking like they he basically what he said was that they weren't expecting the Weibo to open Aurora and Yone. And so it's not like they wanted to play Yone into Aurora. It's just like Weibo kind of left them both open and they weren't about to ban one, so they picked the Yone. Um so that was interesting because I felt like even in game 2, Xiaohu had a really good Aurora game, even though they lost. So I can see why they decided to like run it back. And then I did want to ask about the Jin as well, but I don't know. I felt like I was asking a lot about the game, and he wasn't very energetic, which is okay. He just got eliminated from World. Like last year, he was at World Finals. This year, he was top 2 in regular season in summer, and I guess he probably assumed that he would at least make it to the finals. And I think this is the first second seed that doesn't make it to the finals ever, or it doesn't win one single best of 5 in playoffs. So yeah, I can see that he was not very happy. What's up, brother? Hey, Taylor Christian, how are you? Banger Series today. Yeah, I wanted the LNG to win, but here's the thing: Tarzan won his first quarterfinals ever. Can you believe he had never won a quarterfinal series despite making it to Worlds, what, 4 times? Because he made it on LGD, if I'm not mistaken. He made it on Griffin. He made it on LNG last year, and now on Weibo. Like, he made it 4 times. And every single time he wasn't able to make it out. So that's crazy to me. But yeah, I'm doing good. Well, this is the first time he made it out of quarters. He in the semis. Progress, kind of like an A. How you doing, Taylor? Danny Magic, bro, his drafts are amazing. Yeah, he did lose his. Yeah, he beat his former team too. I I did ask. So I asked Xiaohu about beating like his previous teammates, and he was like, honestly, I don't care. I just turn off like nameplates. The thing is, he was really close with Gala, so I assumed he would be like, yeah, I wanted to beat Gala or something, but he's just like he was so nonchalant about a lot of things. I thought I was gonna get him to laugh like at least 2 or 3 times, but he only really laughed at the TikTok dance thing, and I was asking him if he's gonna do any more, and he was like, maybe during the off season. Right now, I gotta focus on the games. Um, he did lose to his former team. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be insane, man. BLG versus Hanwha Life. When was the last time we had two first seeds play against each other in quarterfinals? I don't think ever, if I'm mistaken. Right? Worlds, because okay, in group stage, you couldn't have LPL and LCK 1 seed in the same team, so it doesn't matter. So all I have to check is Worlds 2023. I could probably tell you what the quarterfinals matchups were off the top of my head. You had Gen G versus BLG again, right? But Gen G was first, BLG was second seed. They were third because LNG made it to. They were either second or third. I don't remember exactly. Then you had T1 versus LNG. T1 wasn't his first seed. JDG was the first seed, and they didn't play Gen G. So yeah, we've literally never had that happen before. it is quite insane that we're seeing both first seeds fight against each other. It's gonna be a banger, yeah, David. It is going to be insane. I think it's probably gonna like I don't okay, it's not T1, so it's not gonna break any records, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like if it breaks all the records up to now, because it is a playoff game, and we've only been in the Swiss stage. Although viewership for League has been insane, dude. League of Legends viewership is so high. Esports charts. I want to see. I doubt that their viewership today was like high or anything. It is probably in the millions. Don't get me wrong, but how do I check League of Legends? I don't use this website ever. Okay, League of Legends. Wait, 3 million? Am I reading this right? Oh, this is most popular matches. T1 versus G2 had a peak of 3 million viewers. What? That is way higher than it normally is, no? How do I check just yesterday? All match stats. Is it gonna ask me to pay like a bajillion dollars? Purchase dashboard taxes. Get access. You can't check. Haha. Okay, well, wait. The prize pool is $2.5 million, really? I didn't know. Did we know? Is it public knowledge how much the prize pool for League of Legends is? I did not know that. $2.5 million? Okay. That is good to know. Yeah, I guess I can't really check without paying money, but Gen G got kind of screwed. They got out 3-0. I think both 3-0 teams. Wait, Gen G, yeah. Gen G got screwed. They got a 3-0 and they got a last day of the quarterfinal match. So much time has passed. Granted, Fly is going to be a warm up match for them. Nah, bro, Fly was going to win. Need a big series from Peanut and Zeka tomorrow. Honestly, even if they do, even if Zeka plays amazing and Peanut plays amazing, if Weibo, if BLG play BLG League of Legends, I don't think it matters. I just think stylistically, BLG are a good matchup into Hanwha Life, and the players are just better or equal, right? I think they have the best top laner in the world, and then it's going up against Doran, who is like a stable player, but he's not going to match up. I'm sorry, but he's not matching up to Bin. The jungle is like that. You could give it to Peanut. I feel like Peanut's playing like one of the best junglers in the world. Although he did have a sus series versus FlyQuest. And then the mid lane, I mean, you have Knight, who's like the GOAT or the second greatest mid laner of LPL. Yeah, it's so hard to see Hanwha Life winning this. Even though I want to see Peanut win Worlds, I just don't know how. I don't think they have the mental fortitude to actually do it. I don't think that when you're down 2-1, you can rely on the combination of Peanut and Doran. Like Zeka has proved it. He has been down 2-0, reverse sweep, the world champion, like reigning world champions. Zeka has it. Viper has it. Beating Damwon was no easy. Like to win world was not easy. No one expected it. I think zero, like one person, and he was trolling. So I do think that like there is some grit to Hanwha Life. I just think that I mean Peanut got reverse swept back in 2016 and he lost 3-0 the year after in the finals and like he just hasn't had dude Tarzan did not play on LGD. Am I trolling? Need a big series from Peanut. Yeah, I feel bad for Gen G. They're getting 3-0'd on Sunday. I hope it's a 3-1 just so we can give them false hope, you know? Kind of like what we did with IG. Like, you just give them that one extra game so that Biplo can get the int out of him, you know? So that moving on to the next series, he doesn't int as well. Kind of like what he did with when he played against DK, he got the int out of himself, and then we were chilling, you know, afterwards. Uh, okay. Who was I thinking of? Not Peanut, Tarzan. Tarzan did not play on LGD. I'm trolling, dude. He played on. Okay, I know that's off the top of my head. After after he played for Griffin, he went to China and he went to what team? And then afterwards he went to LNG. Man, I am too old. How do I not know what team Tarzan played? Oh, he went to LNG. That's right. He went to LNG for 3 years, 4 years. No, 2021, 2022, 2023. 3 years. Yeah, yeah, okay. Why did I think he was on LGD? That was Peanut, wasn't it? That was definitely Peanut. I'm confusing players. I'm getting so old. Peanut played on LGD, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Peanut was on that 20. He played on Team Dynamic? What? I had no idea. Yeah, he was on that the LGD that made Worlds, and didn't make it out of groups. Dude, Peanut has an amazing career. Imagine winning like 7 championships on 5 different teams. I don't think a single player has ever done that. And yet he's losing to Moore in quarters. Again. Last year he lost to BLG in quarters. This year he's going to lose to PLG in quarters again. Just like G2 lost in the 2-2 last year to BLG. And then this year as well, Peanut and Doran are going to get the same. Peanut, Doran, and Delight. Dang, all three of them. No, no, no. Lehens was. No, it was Delight. Was it Delight or Lehens? I think it must have been Delight. Yeah, it was Delight last year. Wow, my memory is like absolutely shot. That is quite disturbing. I am very tired. I just came back from the gym, so maybe that's why. But I do think that for tomorrow's series, I actually think that they're gonna start Jun, which makes me a little bit less confident because Wei wasn't playing the greatest, but like the way BLG plays with Wei, haha, no pun intended, is so much better than with Jun, in my opinion. Because they don't have to just like dive bottom lane over and over again. And like they could actually play through Bin, they could play through Knight. And so I'm a little bit worried just because of like the Jun Wei thing. Like, if Jun loses 2 games, are they putting in Wei? If Wei starts and he loses 2 games, so I do think there are some avenues. Like, just to be fair, this Hanwha Life team is pretty good. I just think stylistically they're bad. I also think on also just enjoys playing with Jun more. Maybe. Yo, MGO. I've heard he's like the father figure of BLG. On? Really? Not Elk? Oh, Jun maybe. Solid mental? Oh, you mean Jun. Jun is the father figure. Okay. Delight is underrated in the support role. Guy is a game changer. I don't know that he's underrated. I feel like everybody is singing his praises, especially after the game one versus Gen G, where he got that like 4-man rel engage or 5-man rel engage, and then they got that Yone ult and won that game. I feel like everyone's been singing his praises. Even in LCK, like if you watch LCK, people were saying he's like the best mechanical support, and like, or at least in lane, and Lehens is like better at macro, but Delight is like one of the best supports in the world. Maybe in the West, I don't really follow what the Western like opinion, Reddit plus Twitter plus like Western analysts think of Delight, but at least the Eastern ones definitely do think that he's great. Because yeah, Delight was on Bro for a couple years, and Genji recognized his talent. Yeah, honestly, when they got rid of Lehens, I was quite upset. I'm a huge Lehens like fanboy. I will say this. I'm a big Lehens. I love his personality. I love how like not childish, but how silly and how his streams like he's always just trolling, and his relationship with Keen is hilarious. His relationship with the Griffin members, I just feel like he's a really cool personality, um, and often watch his streams. But I was surprised with Delight. He did great, and he's like just getting better. I think he's playing better than he did last year. Maybe partly due to being with like a more experienced and veteran AD carry. Who knows? But he's playing quite well. Yeah, it's amazing how many players from Bro. Like this is the second player, right? Because you have Umti who leaves Bro and then like wins his first split, makes it top 5 MSI or top 6, I think, and then makes it top 2 in the next split. Goes to EWC, like goes to Worlds, almost gets out. Like he never even dreamed of international on Bro. And then same thing with Delight. He just wins 2 championships and then wins a third one this year. That Bro had some talent. Um, I was actually thinking of T1 Academy. Dude, the T1 Academy like roster had so many players that ended up like being good. Bro is just cursed. I know, right? It's so sad to see that team just have so much talent and never be able to. I swear, sometimes I just feel like because Photon came from T1 Academy, Berserker came from T1 Academy. I think uh Forest, who was the jungler for the SoftBank, the Japanese LGL first seed, right? That made it to play-ins. Like he was from T1 Academy as well. Who else was on T1 Academy? Like that's already 3 really good players. Um, but then if I look like Griffin, Griffin's on there right now, which is kind of cool. Um, anyone else that I know? There's a guy named Cloud who was playing with what's his name? Yeah, I don't know about Cloud, my friend. Let's see. Poby? Haha. Corey. Oh, I don't know that. Smash is like somewhat um Smash is the player who is playing with Reckless, if I'm not mistaken. Roamer is another player. Oh, Fisher as well. There's so many. I mean, Owner obviously, but like Owner and Zeus, like the ones that don't end up going to. Yeah, I guess Closer as well. They've had some really good like talent. So I want Morgan to succeed, but bro is cursed. I don't know, bro. It's really hard for bro to like do anything. What I don't like about T1, LCK, sorry, not T1. What I don't like about the LCK is how top heavy they're. Actually, let me just pull this up so you guys can see. Uh, let's move this here. Let's move all of my chats out of the way because I have like three of them, and then let's turn on here, and then let's look at LCK long, right? LCK summer, and then let's do LPL. The problem with LCK is there are three really good teams, sometimes four, right? You have some last year KT, for example. This year was like the Genji Hanwha T1, right? And sometimes D plus Kia could sometimes like kind of sneak in there. Like you see, they actually were 13 and 5. But like the difference between the top four and the bottom, everyone else, it's so stark. And like I'm sorry, bro. Like 2-16, even DRX got more wins than bro. Um, but then you look at LPL, and it's so freaking stacked. Like you have Weibo, who was a really good team and like a semifinalist this year. You have Top Esports, who was top two for the entire year. Went on like a 14 game streak, like winning streak, just absolutely tearing things down. LNG again finished were the second seed. BLG, JDG was also a really good team when they played Sheer, and then when they removed Sheer, because who knows why, right? But then you had FPX with the Milky Way like miracle run. Everyone was thinking BLG, obviously. That's already six teams. And then there was NIP that had Rookie on there. You had Anyone's Legend, who was actually making a really good run. And people, no, was it Anyone's Legend? Am I crazy? I think it was Anyone's Legend. Yeah, I think. Wait, how do I check the roster? Show roster. Show rosters. Yeah, I felt like Anyone's Legend were playing fine. No, maybe I'm crazy. But yeah, you just have so many more teams that are competitive. And like, if you're talking about the top tier, I think you at least have six teams. Whereas in LPL, you have like kind of three. T1, this split, obviously not really, but historically, it's kind of like 3 to 4. Whereas in LPL, you have like 6 to 8 sometimes, like NIP, FPX, DDG, BLG, Top Esports, Weibo, LNG. Like, that's already what, 6, 7 teams? It's NIP too, yeah. Like, the top 7 teams here are all like really, really good teams. Even TT were like not the worst teams in the world. Like they were taking games off other teams. So I just feel like it makes it kind of boring watching LCK because you have like Gen G is going to play all these player teams and like none of these games are exciting. Maybe KTT 1D plus and Hanwha. Whereas in LPL, if BLG play top JDG, FPX, NIP, LNG, Weibo, like even anyone's legends, like IG sometimes, YSKM when he first came on was kind of cool. Like there's at least 8 teams that I'm excited to see BLG play versus three. So that's a big thing that. Oh, Ale was good. I think it's because you're looking at spring. Oh, my bad, my bad. You're right. Where's summer? Yeah, I knew something was off. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because they had the multiple groups. Yeah, okay, this is the dude. This format was phenomenal. Every single game was so cool. Like the fact that NIP won 0 games but was still a good team was hilarious to me. I forgot LGD was actually doing well. In my mind, like LGD just was not it. They just made it because they had a relatively okay group. But yeah, anyone's legend went 3-5. Like this isn't even showing like the initial phase. Um, yeah, that makes so much more sense that OMG wasn't top. Like, yeah. Anyways, you have like 9 teams that are all, or eight because I don't count LGD, but like 8 teams that are all relatively competitive, and like 6 teams that are, I feel like, are within a close enough tier that all the games are super exciting. So that's my problem with LCK. That's kind of why I stopped watching LCK a while back. It's just it's always been so top heavy, and I feel like every single split it is such a banger for the playoffs in LPL, and like with this new format, it's even more of a banger. Um, Let me catch up. This last bit was kind of competitive with Furex randomly getting good, then falling off a mountain when they lost to Gen G. Yeah, I didn't watch too much, but I remember people were like super hyped up with Furex and like the what was his name? Smasher? No, not Smasher. There was a what was the 80 carry that got put in? I forget. You can tell. AL was hyped for a bit. Yeah, it just it's such a stark difference, and it makes me not. It's just if you want to enjoy really hype matchups and really good League of Legends, it's so much easier to just watch the big matchups for LCK, which is like every few weeks you're gonna get like one good matchup, maybe two on the same time, like in the same week, which is quite rare. Normally it's like every other week you might get a good matchup, but most of the time it's kind of chill. And then for LPL, it's like 6 days a week you might get like freaking like three days a week you're getting really awesome matchups, and it's just so much more entertaining. I know they have more teams, so that's another like thing, but that's part of the reason why I'm always cheering for LPL is because I just feel like they're more competitive league, and it's just like more fun to watch. Also, I didn't notice you're here, Alex Tran. Welcome. Um, but yeah, that's also why I'm cheering for BLG. They're my crystal ball winners for Worlds. I still think that they can actually do it. Um, I believe in them. I think they can do it. I hope they will. And I wouldn't be sad if they lost. This is one of the few times where I actually wouldn't be sad if BLG lost, because I am a fan of Hanwha Life, and because we would get Hanwha Life versus Weibo, which would be Doron Viper versus Tarzan. So like that's kind of cool. Also, we wouldn't be getting another region kill, right? Because if BLG win, it's guaranteed LPL, right? It would be like a rematch of LPL finals, and chances are BLG are gonna win just because like they know them so well. So I'm not too excited for that specific matchup. I feel like Hanwha Life versus Weibo would be a lot more hype, but I just don't think that that's gonna happen. Oh, would appreciate timestamps. Honestly, I do want to put in timestamps, but I feel just it's a lot of effort. I will eventually get into timestamps. Um, I know last year, or not last year, MSI was another thing where like I started doing timestamps and then I stopped afterwards. That's just because I got so busy. But I'll try to put timestamps from now on. I'll respond to the comment in a bit. Then TES-T1. I want to say this till tomorrow, but I actually like really think TES are gonna win. I know that when I was looking, wait, let me look real quick at the poll that I put. I'm pretty sure 75% of people just think that your channel, most people are voting for T1 to win, but I do think that they're not going to win. Yeah, 138 votes. Most people say T1's going to win. I have a banger video, by the way, that I plan on making for T1. I just think that this roster, regardless of whether they win Worlds again or not, is going to disband. And I feel like the theme of this world, Heavy is the Crown, is just such a fitting. I think BLG will win, but I also thought LNG would win today. True, true. Shame we couldn't have HLE versus TES with Viper versus Mako. Oh snap! That could be the finals. Who knows? Who knows, Turdak? That is kind of cool. It's always a shame because every time, whenever I ask players about like, oh, you're playing against your ex teammate, very rarely do I get like an emotional answer. It's like, yeah, I really wanted to beat him because he's my ex teammate, or like I care, or like we were bantering. Like we never really get that. The only people I got that from were River and Maple, River was like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat you." Like I asked River, he was like, "Oh, after I win, I'm just gonna say like, sorry, I had to beat you," or something like that. Um, but most of the time, just like, you know what, I don't really care. I kind of block it out of my memory. I just see the champions. I don't really see the players. I'm like, come on, man, we build some storylines here. You played this like with this guy for like 3 years. You won like 3 championships with this 80 character. Come on, or two, however many. I don't know. I feel like there's not enough. People don't care enough, and I would like to make it matter. So when T1 eventually disband, I have a video of like just showing off a lot, highlighting how great T1 were at certain points, how they like went down but always picked themselves back up, never finished below third. You know, they're just the incredible grit of T1 is something that we haven't seen from any team, like just any team ever. Over 3 years, like first of all, there's only like two teams that we've seen for this long, which is Gen G that actually meant something internationally, right? There are other teams, but like Gen G 2016, they make it to the finals, lose 3-2, kind of like what happened with T1. Then the next year they win 3-0, exactly like what T1 did, right? Following their footsteps. And then the next year after that, they bomb out in groups. Obviously, T1 didn't bomb out in groups, they made it, but maybe they bomb out in quarters, which they've never done before. I think at that time, that Gen G roster that was the defending world champions in 2018 was the first and only Korean team to not make it out of groups. Let that sink in. That's crazy that the defending world champions were the only Korean team to never make it out of groups. Um, yeah, that's something to think about. But they were like extremely burnt out. I asked Core JJ about it because eventually, like, I wanted to ask him about it, and he was like, "Dude, we were just so burnt out. As soon as something went wrong, we just completely and entirely collapsed. You could see it on Crown. He was like throwing his clothes on stage. He was like extremely upset. So yeah, I really wanted to highlight the grit of this T1 team, and I hope they don't lose. I'm expecting them to lose. So I really want to get this video done so that when they do lose, it's sort of like a tribute to T1. And the title of the video is going to be something like Farewell T1, Too Heavy Was the Crown. Or if they win Worlds, maybe like heavy was the crown, maybe not like too heavy, but I do want to really emphasize in the video through specific choice of like music and specific scenes to show that sort of the mental stress and strain and how they always managed to show up and just how many times people voted against them. People thought they were down and how they somehow found a way to recover. How didn't they finish like 11 and like what 11 and 6, 11 and 7 this in spring, and then they made it third place, and now they're like they could win again. Who knows? Now that the format changed, DK has never made it out of Swift. You're right. Oh my god. You're right. It's DK both years. Yeah, Korean team always gets screwed. Think about it. If DK loses to FlyQuest, they have a much easier. They don't face a single LPL team afterwards, right? Because let's just switch DK and FlyQuest because they played at the 1-on-1 at the 1-0, right? And DK won, and then they had to play LNG. Weibo was the last game. Who did they play right before? It wasn't BLG, so it must have been TES. Yeah, TES, right? Maybe. I think they played TES. Yeah, they played top. But if you just switch it out, you would have had them play against PSG, and then they would have played against Hanwha Life. Let's just assume they lost to that, and they would have played against T1, TL. They would have an infinitely easier. Okay, here's an even better one. Think of G2. If they lost against Weibo, their next game would have been against TES. Let's just say they lose that. No, wait. Okay. They played Weibo when they were 1-on-1, right? They beat Weibo, and then they were 2-on-1. If they lost to Weibo, they would have been 1-2. They would have had to play Fnatic into Damwon. But because they won, they had to play T1 into BLG. Sometimes losing just makes sense. Jesus Christ, dude. Hey, Rachel. Yeah, sometimes losing just gives you a much better road or path than winning. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah, I think also Mad Lions really, really screwed us because we would have had Fnatic versus Team Liquid if Mad Lions like didn't lose to Gam because Gam ended up playing Liquid, right? Losing early is the way for Western teams. No, they were second in spring. Wait, who was second in spring? Third in summer? Oh, T1. Yeah, yeah. T1 were third in summer. That's right. Um, I don't even know how they beat Damwon. Like, dude, T1 is an anomaly. I made a video about this a while ago. I think after EWC, I just made a video and I was like, this T1 team makes no sense. How do you go from like being neck and neck with Genji to having such a bad performance at MSI comparatively, right? Like Faker had like wasn't playing as well. Obviously, eventually he like picked it back up, and they were really close with BLG. But like the first time they lost 3-1, they almost lost to G2. Like it took heroics for them to come back, where they looked much better than they should have. Like honestly, if they played that the way that they did, maybe they beat BLG and they make it to the finals. And then they go back to summer. They don't look very good. Then EWC hits around, and bam, they're the best. They're just straight up the best. And then same thing happening now. Like if they win, if they make it to semis, right? If they make it to finals, I don't understand this team. They just turn up whenever they need to, and they just like slack off. I don't know. I don't think it's them actually slacking off. I just think this team makes no sense. It really doesn't. I want to actually look at my. How do I see my videos? Your videos. There we go. Oh, I was sorry for delay. I was late catching up. Yeah, no problem. Um, this okay makes no sense. I think makes no. Yeah, back in July 10th. So it must have been after all that happened. Um oh wow. This video got a lot of views. This video oh wow. It got 12,000 views? When did it get all that many? Hold up. I made 12 I got 12,000 views and 6 subscribers off that video? Dude, I should talk about T1 more often. I understand you. I didn't know so many people. How did I not notice? Wait, let me look at the views. Yeah, I guess maybe I just forgot that it got that many views. But engagement, wow! I didn't even give like a good thumbnail or anything. It was after EWC. I didn't like make a really good thumbnail. I didn't like think of like a really good cool title. It wasn't like me trying to make like a masterpiece of a video. It was just I was confused. What the hell? It's not even like long. It's like 4.5 minutes or 4 minutes 42 seconds. I guess people really like T1. I mean, it makes sense. T1 is the most popular team in the world. Um, but yeah, I will save the T1 versus TES talk for tomorrow. And then, dude, after this series, regardless, whenever I do World's Hot Takes, either I'll have a really hot take about TES, depending on how they play, or I'll have a really hot take about T1. But either way, there's going to be a hot take. I can't imagine. And then when FlyQuest beat Gen G, that's going to be, dude, we're going to have the best viewership on this show after FlyQuest beat Gen G. I can't imagine anything except like a million people all talking about how they expected Gen G to lose and they knew that FlyQuest could do it. It's gonna be cool. I'm excited for this weekend. We have some really really cool games. Um, Hanwha versus BLG. I really hope I get interviews. I hope I get some cool interviews. Uh, See, here's the thing. I don't want T1 to lose because that's less opportunities for T1 interviews. Anything T1 us fans will watch? Okay, okay, I see. All right, I'll just make more T1 stuff then. Genji hasn't played in like 2 weeks is winnable. I think it really is. I mean, okay, logically, I know that it shouldn't be, but I do think that FlyQuest just have so many things that they can pull. Oh my god, that would be insanely cool. Yeah. Oh my god. They have so many tools. Inspired has a really cool champion pool. He's not afraid of pulling out the fiddle, the Nunu, like all these different junglers. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls out a Graves. I mean, or Karthus or something. Like even if he has to go back to certain picks, I think he's very versatile and he's really thinking of different ways that he can disrupt what Gen G want to do. I'm hoping they have like a really weird like Smolder Obsession or something that we can take advantage of by playing the champions that actually matter. And then like you said, they're like gonna FlyQuest played all the way to 2-2. They played all five, like they played five matchups, whereas Gen G only played three, and they've been like had over 2 weeks off. Like that adds up. Bwipo is like a Bwipo do Bwipo things and hopefully find some sort of edge that normally we don't. And Masu has been looking great. I don't have any like worries between Masu. Like he can play that. We've seen him play the Neela. Like I hope he pulls out the Nyla or whatever Neela. Like he can play Samira. I want to see him play the champions that might not be expected, um, or give him an edge in draft. So like there's so many different little ways that and like Quad just has to not lose, right? You don't have to beat Chovy in lane. You just have to not lose. And I think Quad is like the best laner that we sent, and he can definitely do that. Genji plays safe champs. Yeah, they always have really clean comps. So I feel like if we can find certain ways of like disrupting that, um, whether it's like the Aurora, like Aurora Nocturne, um, what is the mid champ called? Ari, like that combo seems like it's really good. Just certain things that will disrupt. Like if you're on red side, you just open Skarner, Aurora, and Yone, and like just play that matchup fast. Last time Keen faced NA was 2018. Oh snap, MGL, dude, that is absolutely true. Keen has a 0% win rate against North America at Worlds, which is probably not true, but I'm going to pretend in knockout stages. Because in knockout, he played against JDG and lost. So in knockout stages, he has a 0% win rate, even though he was completely gapping Licorice. He still lost all 3 games. So I will absolutely tweet this out when the day comes for the games. That's actually hilarious. Okay, I also wrote a note down. I don't know, Zeus is looking scary. Yeah, would appreciate timestamps for the questions, but overall solid interview. Thank you. Um, yeah, I think I'll tweet that out once the day is over. Not the day is over, like the on Sunday morning maybe, Saturday night. I don't know. I'll tweet it out at some point. Uh, but thank you for reminding me that. That's quite a interesting fact. Keen has never won a game against North America in quarters or in the knockout stage. All right, that was fun. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Scout. Like, oh, did you guys see the memes? So the Chinese um fans have this meme where every time Scout does a really cool play, they say like, "Oh, lower the interest rates," because he took a loan in order to be able to play um at Worlds, right? Because like the whole drama that happened with EEG, blah, blah blah. Not going through that here, but yeah, he had to take a loan, and every time he makes like a good play, like when he had that Yone 3-man alt, people were like, "Oh, lower his interest, lower the interest rate, lower the interest rate." And whenever he makes a bad play, they were like, increase the interest," like screw him over. This was not worth it. But yeah, dude, losing. Imagine being a world champion in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, you got knocked out in quarters every single time. You got knocked out 3-0 against T1, 3-2 against DRX. Oh snap, they both won Worlds that year. And then 3-1 against Weibo. Maybe Weibo are winning Worlds, guys. Maybe we just locked it. Like, whoever beats Scout wins Worlds. Who knows? 2021, no one beat him, and he won. 2020, I don't think Scout even made it to Worlds. Uh, but yeah, what a world we live in where we could have we could have BLG knocked out, TES knocked out, and Weibo be the only team to have to face HLE and one of T1 Gen G to win Worlds for LPL. Or we could have Hanwha Life, T1, and Gen G all knocked out. We could have a world where there's not a single Korean team in semis. I don't expect to see that world, but I sure as hell would be very excited to see it. Anyways, that's all from me. I will see you guys tomorrow. So like I said, I have a Weiwei interview that'll come out after the games are done. I will get out an interview between Hanwha Life and BLG. I don't know if I have a one-on-one, but at the very least, I will upload one of the scrums. if I don't have a one-on-one. Same thing for TES T1. If I don't get a one-on-one interview, I requested Faker and Carrier. That's kind of when I want them to win just a little bit, just so that I can have more opportunities for requesting Faker and Carrier. I'm just gonna keep requesting that duo because I've interviewed everyone else on T1 except for those two players. And if I get a Faker interview, I would be very, very pleased. If I get a Carrier interview, I'll be very, very pleased. Just give me one interview, please. And then for Genji Fly, I'm assuming I'm not going to get any interviews from either one. I don't think I've gotten any from them this Worlds. I don't think I will. Um, but yeah, we try our best. We request, and I think BLG will win. Just Hanwha Life hasn't looked good. Yeah, but BLG has had some jungle problems, and Hanwha Life have a really good jungler. So who knows? We could have a world where like the finals could straight up be Hanwha Life versus Genji, or it could be Weibo versus FlyQuest. That world exists, and I am very hyped in order to like enter that world. That would be really cool. Anyways, that's all from me. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate people like coming in and chatting and talking. Um, and whether it's giving feedback like, hey, stop posting spoilers. How many times do I have to tell you? Or just yeah, chatting. I appreciate it. Nice, me too. We'll love to see those interviews. Yeah, I hope so. HLE has Doran problems. Come on, Doran hasn't been too bad. He's been solid. He gets his jacks. He plays his game. He's not gonna carry, but he's not gonna end. They are another DK. Okay, that is blasphemous. Okay, there's only one DK, and that's DK. Hanwha Life are way better than DK. I feel like if Hanwha Life played 100 games against DK, they lose like 5 and win 95. That's how much confidence I have in Hanwha Life. No, that's how much. What's the opposite of confidence? That's how little confidence I have in Dom1 to close out games. They might get leads in 95 of those games and lose all of them. So I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.